In Islam's teachings, goodness takes the lead. Choosing what's right fulfills every need. Invitation to virtue. Invitation to virtue.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, welcome back to another episode of Invitation to Virtue. Alhamdulillah, in our previous episodes, we were discussing the types of ostentation, how we fall into such traps of the shaitan. One example that was given in the previous one was that, for example, crying, building up tears, and then pressing the eyes down and they flow, and just to show off to people. So these are the types of things that we need to be wary about when given invitation to virtue. Who knows, because of our invitation to virtue, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, that a person's life can change. Inshallah, carrying on that episode forward, inshallah Azza wa Jal, we will discuss more aspects and learn how to protect ourselves. And another aspect that we will discuss in today's episode, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, is keeping the company of the righteous only. This is also a invitation to virtue. But before we dive into that topic at hand, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, let's listen to a virtue of reciting peace and blessings, Durood Pak, upon the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Sayyiduna Siddiq Akbar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu has said, reciting Durood upon the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam erases sins so rapidly, so quickly, that even water does not extinguish fire as quickly. Subhanallah. Then he mentioned to send salutations upon the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a higher virtue than setting necks, and i.e. necks free, meaning saying slaves free. Another narration is mentioned of Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, that adorn your gatherings with recitation of durood, of salat upon the beloved Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. So therefore, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, whenever we get this opportunity to recite and bless ourselves of reciting durood upon the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, we should wholeheartedly come forth and put ourselves forward and recite peace and blessing upon the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. So let's wholeheartedly, collectively recite durood upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wa alihi wasallam. My dear viewers on Madani Channel, is mentioned by Sayyiduna Fudail bin Iyad rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. He has stated, in the past, people will be ostentatious about what though? About good deeds that they have performed. But people today, so remember what they mean by was that in the past, people will be ostentatious about the deeds they have performed, meaning they've done them. It's just that their intentions were wrong. But whereas it's mentioned, but people today are ostentatious about the things they did not do. Meaning they didn't even do them and they've been ostentatious. Now what does this mean? That is, for example, back then, the people would perform such good deeds to please others. But people today, they don't even perform good deeds, but they just have that look of piety on their faces, giving the impression that they are pious. In fact, they are more despicable, i.e. deserving of being disliked, that even than the ostentatious people of the past. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alihi wa alihi wasallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, it is one of the greatest privileges a person can have or be blessed with is what is good company, and is the company of sincere bondmen of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala and the devotees of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. And is mentioned that by virtue of their company, of the good company, and the call to righteousness, the invitation to virtue conveyed by them from time to time, one will be able to treat the disease of ostentation. So if you want to treat this disease of ostentation, and that one of the ways is invitation to virtue. And how? Who can give you this invitation to virtue? These are the sincere people of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Good company. And remember, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, that one should keep the company of the righteous only and should avoid the wicked people like the plague. The renowned and the revered Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam stated, the example of a good and bad companion is like that of a musk-carrying person and the one blowing into the furnace. The musk-carrying person will either give some gift to you, or you will buy from him, or that you will have rich fragrance from him, whereas the one blowing into the furnace will either burn your clothes or you will have foul smell on him. And there's a share as mentioned, this couplet, and this couplet says, Change bande di sohbat yaro, jeve dukan atara, soda bahavan mulna laya, hulle an hazara. Bure bande di sohbat yaro, jeve dukan lohara, kapde baame kunj kunj baiye, chinga paen hazara. Translation is that is to keep the company of righteous person is like visiting a perfume shop, where you will at least have a pleasant fragrance even though you buy nothing. So for example, you visit a shop of a perfume shop or a fragrance shop. You go inside, you look at some itars, you don't buy anything. But when you leave that shop, you will smell nice. And it's saying that whereas you, and this is good company, whereas to keep the company of a wicked person is like going to a blacksmith, the one who makes swords and everything, or makes something with the fire. Is that it's going to a blacksmith shop where sparks of what he's making will fly up and fall onto your clothes, even if you are trying to protect them. You're going here, you're going there, you're going right, left to protect, but you won't be able to protect yourself. And this is the company of bad. This is an example of bad company. So my dear viewers of Madani Channel, the company one keeps has its effect on him. For example, if you meet an Islamic brother who has tears in his eyes, a grieved look on his face, and a sad tone in his voice due to the death of some of his relatives, you will also become grieved for a while because of being with him. For example, a relative of you, of someone that you know passes away. You go to visit him where he's sitting in a masjid for ta'ziyat, and you visit him, and of course the person's sad, he's crying, or he's got red eyes, he's got a sad face, you can see tear marks. You're not going to go there and laugh. You're going to go sit in his company, and you'll be sad, like whatever happened, it's the will of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. You'll change your tone as well. You will change your tone, so you will be like him. And this is what he's trying to say here. And if on the other hand, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, you happen to meet an Islamic brother who is talking happily and joyfully with a smiling and shining face, you will also automatically share his happiness for some moments. And this is good company, my dear viewers of Madani Channel. So your company affects. Likewise, it's mentioned that if a person keeps the company of those who do not care about their afterlife and feel no hesitation in committing sins, it is feared that he will also become heedless of his afterlife like them. If on the contrary, a person keeps the companies of devotees of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, who remain busy, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, day in and out, making efforts for their reform to achieve success in the afterlife, with their hearts shining with brightness by doing contemplating of the hereafter, and their eyes shedding tears with the divine fear of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, it is hoped that he will also wholeheartedly gain a similar spiritual condition, inshallah azza wa jal. Buri sohbaton se bacha ya ilahi, bana mujhko acha bana ya ilahi. Translation: O Allah azza wa jalla, protect me from the company of wicked people and make me a righteous person. Sallu ala al-habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alihi wa alihi wa sallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, just speaking about good company, I like to pause here for a moment. And what other good company can we have? But it's mentioned that there's no need to search, and there's no need to be worried about searching or where do I find good company. Alhamdulillah, the Madani company of righteous people, Da'wat Islami. Join the Madani environment of Da'wat Islami, and which is a global, a non-political movement for preaching of the Quran and Sunnah. By its blessing, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, good manners will automatically become a part of your character. Every Islamic brother or every person, individual, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, every Islamic brother should attend the weekly Sunnah-inspired Ijtima or Dawat Islami, and the Islamic sisters, they should attend their weekly gathering which takes place in their locality. And the brothers should travel in the Sunnah-inspiring Madani qafilas in the companies of the lovers of the Prophet ﷺ. And by the blessing of traveling, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, in these Madani qafilas, you will gain the opportunity of pondering over previous lifestyle, making a person feel ashamed of the abundance of his sins and inspiring him to have a privilege of repenting of them with a heart anxious, which is a trembling heart, of the betterment of his afterlife. Now, by the virtue of routinely traveling, not just once, but routinely traveling once every month for 3 days, with what? With the Madani qafilas, in the companies of the devotees of the Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, the habit of indecent and useless talking will be replaced with what? With the recitation of the Holy Quran. Na'at Mustafa alayhi salatu wasalam, Salat al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Anger, intolerance, arrogance, this will be replaced by gentleness, tolerance and humility, with a passion for respect of the Muslims. The greed for worldly wealth will be replaced by enthusiasm of good deeds. In short, my dear viewers on Madani Channel, a Madani transformation will take place in that person's life for the one who has a routine in traveling with Madani qafilas of Dawat Islam. And Islamic sisters, my dear viewers on Madani Channel, should also regularly attend the weekly Sunnah-inspired Ijtima held for Islamic sisters in their city, in their locality. And my dear viewers on Madani Channel, for persuading yourself and motivation, I like to mention one summary of a Madani parable which is full of blessings by keeping in the company of good people, of righteous people, those people who do invitation to virtue, those people that invite to righteousness. But it's mentioned that an Islamic brother from an area in Hind has stated that before he joined the fragrant Madani environment of Dawat Islami, which is a non-political movement of the Quran and Sunnah, he said that I was stuck in the mire of sin. He was a sinful person. He says, I was fashionable and a very immodest person, and he would not offer his salah. And he says, the days of my life that were actually precious diamonds were being wasted heedlessly, meaning the youth of his time. He says, besides spiritual diseases, I also had physical ones. He says, I had a heart disease and an abnormally long nasal bone, which was caused and prolonged agony to me. Alas, the gloomy clouds of the dark night of sins cleared. What rescued me from the mire of sins and led me to the path of virtues is a journey with the Sunnah-inspired Madani Qafila of Dawat Islam. Alhamdulillah. By the blessings of the companies of the devotees of the Prophet ﷺ, a Madani transformation took place in my life. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jalla. He says, I was further blessed with recovery from the diseases I had. After that Madani Qafila, my nasal bone became normal and my heart disease was also cured within few days. Subhanallah. Dil mein gar dard ho, dard se rukh zard ho, paoge farhatein qafile mein chalo, hai shifa hi shifa, marhaba marhaba, aake khud dekh lein qafile mein chalo. Translation, my dear viewers, if you have a heart trouble and are afraid of it, just travel with the Madani Qafila, you will be cured of it. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, you have just heard that when a wicked person of society, he was privileged to travel with the Madani Qafila through someone's invitation to virtue, where he was blessed with the company of devotees of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, he not only got reformed, but he also cured his physical diseases by the grace of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. His abnormally long nose became normal, and he was also cured of the deadly heart disease. And let me tell you one thing, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, like a Madani cure, that's people have a lot as well of heart diseases with the intention of gaining reward. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, in order to avoid ostentation, practice as many of the following 8 spiritual cures which I'm about to mention. And they are, whenever they are conveniently possible for you, recite with Durood Sharif, Salat al-Nabi once before, then you read the wazaif, invocation, and then once after Durood Pak. This will inshallah dismiss ostentatious satanic whispers. Number 1, recite the following dua 3 times every day. So following dua 3 times every day, Allah Azza wa Jalla will protect you from every type of ostentation. The dua is as follows: Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana a'lamu wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lamu. Whenever you suspect ostentation in your heart, recite A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and act as if you are spitting towards the left shoulder 3 times. Don't spit, but act as if you are spitting towards the left shoulder 3 times. Number 3, one who recites A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim 10 times daily, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala appoints an angel for his protection. So of course, when angels who are ma'asum, who are sinless, who are obedient to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, who are loyal to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, once the angel is stationed with you, of course inshallah it will lead you towards good inshallah. Number 4, recite Surah Al-Ikhlas 11 times in the morning. From the duration of post midnight to the glimmering of the first ray of the sun is called morning. Even if shaitan along with his troops tries to make the reciter commit a sin, he will not succeed unless the reciter commits the sin himself. Allahu Akbar. The power of Surah Ikhlas, my dear viewers on Madani Channel. How many times? 11 times. Moving forward. To recite Surah An-Nas also removes satanic whispers. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَهِ النَّاسِ ila akhiri, till the end. So the one who recites Surah An-Nas removes satanic whispers. Number 6, a renowned commentator of the Quran, a great thinker of Ummah, Mufti Ahmad Yar Khan rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, has stated, the honorable Sufis rahimahumullah have stated, whoever recites La Hawla, La Hawla, La Hawla 21 times, blows on water, and then drinks it every morning and evening, will remain protected from satanic whispers to a great extent. Subhanallah, my dear viewers on Madani Channel, that we have a way that the Sufiya would do, that they would recite La Hawla only 21 times on water, and they will blow upon that water, then drink it every morning and evening, and inshallah one will remain protected from satanic whispers to a great extent, inshallah. This is mentioned in Mir'atul Manajih. Furthermore, to recite Huwal Awwalu wal Akhiru wal Zahiru wal Batinu wa huwa bikulli shay'in alim. To recite this removes satanic whispers instantly. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, if there is no improvement despite all treatment that you have tried, but do not get worried though. Do not get worried. Continue to receive treatment. Continue this. Do not stop. It is rightly said that Rome wasn't built in one day. If you give up treatment, it is as if you have surrendered to shaitan. I've had enough. I've tried this, I've tried that, I went to this sheikh, I went to that sheikh. I had enough. Do not give up, my dear viewers on my channel. Because the day you have given up, that's when the shaitan will win. It's a battle between shaitan. Shaitan is hitting us. We are fighting back, This constant treatment, constant recitation is our fight against him. He will win sometimes, but we will not let him win. We will try not to let him win. But sometimes he wins. But when will he win every time is when you give up. Whenever you give up, this when he will win every time, my dear viewers on Madani Channel. Hujjatul Islam, Sayyidina Imam Muhammad bin Muhammad Ghazali, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, has stated in his book Minhajul Abidin, published by Maktabatul Madinah, the publishing department of Da'wat Islami. If you see that shaitan continues to disturb you despite you seeking Allah's refuge from him, it means that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has intended to test your asceticism. And this means avoidance of physical pleasures for religious knowledge, and your power and your patience. So this is what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala also tests, your power and patience. That is, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala intended to test whether you fight against shaitan or get defeated by him. So whenever we feel like this, my dear viewers, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is testing us. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He is testing us. So it's up to us to continue that fight, continue those invocations, continue that recitation. Or will we get defeated by Him by leaving everything? Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Tubu ila Allah, astaghfirullah. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, coming towards the end of our episode today, we have studied and learnt some details regarding ostentation. Because since ostentation occurs in worship, it is appropriate to learn the definition of worship. And it's also been intended to quote the forms of worship with some details of intentions, further conveying the invitation to virtue. Describing the definition of worship, my dear viewers on Madani Channel, our respected scholars have stated, to revere, i.e. respect, someone considering him worthy to be worshipped is called worship. Whereas, to revere someone without considering him worthy of worship is not actually worship, but just reverence, i.e. respect. For example, to stand with hands folded during salah is an act of worship, but the same act of folding hands is not worship whilst one is present in front of the blessed golden grills, or the tomb of any wali of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, or when reciting Salatul Salam, or beholding the holy relics, or meeting one spiritual guide, teacher, parents, sayyids, etc. But rather it's to just reverence in these cases. So my dear viewers of Madani Channel, this is what we have learned today as well in regards to ostentation. We do dua in the court of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala enables us to wholeheartedly avoid ostentation and to do whatever task what we have for the pleasure of Allah, for His own pleasure, and to make Him and His beloved Ali Salatu Wasalam happy with us. Ameen bijahin nabiyil ameen sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam.
In Islam's teachings, goodness takes the lead. Choosing what's right fulfills every need. Invitation to virtue. Invitation to